On the hour, rugbyleague.com news. Brought to you by Thomson Reuters, the global leader for news.
"16 passes, 17 pairs of hands, all after full time, and St Helens have matched their wide to west miracle of 25 years ago and their grand final triumph when all was lost in 2020 to eliminate Leeds from Super League, beating them 16 points to 14 at Headingley. You had to see it to believe it. Shane Wright scored that try. He had only joined the club mid-season from Salford. He'd never heard of wide to west, but he did see that grand final try scored during the COVID year at Hull. It's all over for Leeds for the year when they thought they had it won. 14-6, they were up with just 6 minutes to go, only to see it all fall apart in front of their home crowd. Next week, it's Wigan versus Leigh at the DW Stadium in a rematch of this season's opener, and then travelling to Hull KR, the minor premiers who have been very, very shaky in recent weeks, are St Helens. And Paul Wellens, he was there that night 25 years ago, and when he was asked if he'd given up when the siren sounded, he answered simply no, and he was glad the players didn't either. 16-14, St Helens over Leeds at Headingley tonight, and earlier in the evening in the Championship semi-final, it was a 30-18 victory. That was York over Halifax, and they will play the winner of Sunday's Toulouse encounter between Olympique and Bradford in the Championship decider. But we've witnessed a rugby league miracle tonight, something that's going to go down in the game's folklore. Leeds beaten after full time by St Helens 16-14, and in the Championship semi-final it was York 30, Halifax 18. This is Steve Mascord. You're on rugbyleague.com, and now with the rest of today's news, here's Jason Costigan.
Coming up, Burleigh Bears celebrate grand final victory over Norths in the Queensland Cup. The Sydney Roosters qualify first for the NRLW Premiership decider, and Wigan to face the Leopards in Super League semi after Leigh beats Wakefield. But first up, in the Southern Hemisphere, the Burleigh Bears are celebrating on the Gold Coast after defeating Norths Devils 22-8 at KO Stadium in the grand final of the Queensland Cup. The Bears up 10 points to 8 at the break before keeping the Devils scoreless in the second stanza. Burleigh number 6 and former Broncos first grader Josh Rogers also coming away with the Duncan Hall medal. In the women's grand final at the same venue, undefeated Brisbane Tigers 22-6 over Burleigh after it was 18-6 at the break. And speaking of the women's game in the NRLW, the undefeated Sydney Roosters have made it through to the grand final. The Chooks scraping home 17-16 against Cronulla at Gosford after the Tricolours led 10-6 at halftime in that preliminary final. And as for the boys, all eyes of course on Brisbane for the second of the NRL preliminary finals between the Broncos and Penrith. Sunday's game at Suncorp Stadium gets underway at 4:05pm local time. The winner of that one to play the Melbourne Storm, who qualified first for the grand final after beating the Sharkies 22-14 at Amy Park. For Craig Bellamy, it'll be grand final number 11. In Super League, it'll be Wigan versus Leigh next Friday night in the first of the semi-finals. The winner to cement their place at Old Trafford. Leigh now just one win away from playing at the Theatre of Dreams after the Leopards' 26-10 victory against Wakefield in the first of the eliminators. Leigh up 18-zip at the break. I'm Jason Costigan, and that's latest in news on rugbyleague.com.